What's up, guys? Blade Master here. You're watching the Wolf of Remus Total War channel, and this is yet another Total War Rome 2 online battle replay. And this one was fought between Piro and I. This is the third of the four battles that I played against him. That one day, I don't really remember. I think it was a couple of days ago. And in this one, I've taken Parthian, and he has taken Epirote as a counterpick. So we're fighting in the map of Pella, and as you can see from my army composition, obviously if you take Parthia, you expect a lot of your killing power to come from your Cataphracts. So I wanted to test out more than them. I want to test out the elite Persian archers and how well they do now, and that's because a lot of people on CA forums were complaining, and very rightly so. They were complaining about elite Persian archers being terrible, and they're completely right, and they definitely need to get a buff. If you can take a look at their armor, it's 10 armor compared to Eastern Slingers who have 15 armor. Like, what sense does that make? So the only thing that they have going for them is slightly higher weapon damage and melee attack, and the fact that they have spears for melee defense. But if you look at their shots per minute, it's 6. Compare that with the Persian Light Archer, who's also at 6, albeit a slightly lower 6. So there's really nothing much that's going in favor of these guys. People are saying that now that archers take a lot longer to kill, elite Persian archers could find a renewed purpose. But I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to put that to the test by taking this army. So I brought 2 elite Persian archers, a Persian light archer, and a couple of Eastern slingers. I backed them up with 3 mercenary hoplites up in the center and a couple of Eastern spearmen on my flanks. I've also brought a total of 3 mercenary Sarmatian horse archers, 2 royal cataphracts, 1 Eastern cataphract, 1 camel cataphract, and finally 1 noble blood cab and 1 extra Eastern spearman. Now, Piro, on the other hand, has brought a total of 3 mercenary Italian cav, and this is something we don't really see many players bringing. But I think they are pretty decent. I mean, they've got a 15 bonus versus large, which should come in their favor. So he's brought 3 mercenary Italian cavalry. He's also brought, I think, 2 Aspis cav, I believe, or maybe it's 3. I think it's 3, judging by this army composition. I think he's got 3, and he's hidden all of them in this patch of woods here. He's also brought 2 militia hoplites and 1 mercenary Italian spearman as either charge bait or arrow bait. And behind them, he's brought a total of 3 archers. And then he's backed them up with a 3rd line of levy pikes. And he's backed them up with a 4th line of Agrianian axemen and 1 Hellenic Royal Guard gen. And finally, he's brought an mercenary Indian war elephant unit. So very, very capable army from Piro. It would all depend on how well he can deploy and use his pikes, and how well he can use them to counter against my cavalry. So I'm moving up in front, and I've come in range of his missile bait, and I shouldn't take. I shouldn't shoot at them. So I'm going to go ahead and start shooting at his mercenary Italian cavalry instead. And the other 2, I believe, this slinger and this Persian light archer, and actually it's these 3 who are going to be firing up on this Aspis cav, because I noticed that they were hiding in the woods, and it'll be extremely important to kill them off as soon as possible. As much as what people say that Aspis cav and companions are not that strong, I still believe that they're very, very strong, and they're easily capable of getting more than 200 to 300 kills in a match. So I'm going to put the first bit. Well, actually, no, I won't put it. Let me put it in slow motion, because a lot of stuff happens in the first minute of the game, and it's it's pretty decisive. So I move my archers up in front and get some shots in, and immediately he counters with his mercenary Italian cav. And this is a very good move by him. Even though these elite Persian archers have spears, you can see that a lot of them are tackled down by that charge, and that's because these guys are very light, classified as very light cav. Now I'm hurrying up with my mercenary hoplites to try and catch some of his mercenary Italian cav, and that's because he's just putting the herd on my skirmish line, and that's not going to go very well for me, because another big part of my army is going to be how well I can use my skirmishers. And now he's also moved up with his mercenary Indian war elephant, and this was all a very good move on Piro's part, because I definitely did not expect him to be so aggressive with the pike build. But he's going ahead, he notices the opportunity and just charges straight in with his mercenary Indian war elephants. They're just going to slaughter that Eastern slinger unit. I've also brought 1 Eastern spearman, but they're obviously not going to do anything. With a couple of skirmishers that I have, I'm going to use them to try and just kill off these Indian war elephants as soon as possible. Um, you can see that these elite Persian archers, despite the fact that they're supposed to do well in melee, again, well, not well, but comparatively well in melee compared to other archers, they still lose a whole bunch of units just from a charge. And that's just another thing that they don't have in their favor. I really don't see what their identity is in this game. Now, his Indian war elephants are just about to wreak havoc on more and more of my units. You can see that they're going to charge head on into these mercenary hoplites, but I'm starting to shoot some arrows into these massive elephants. And these hoplites, like I said, that they're much stronger than they were before. So while their morale is relative, actually the morale has been up too. So they would last for quite a while. You can see these guys have been attacked in the rear. Let's put this back on regular mode. And these another complaint of many people is that war elephants start to die very quickly, and I can definitely see that. I mean, it's just been a couple of shots from my elite Persian archers, and these guys are already done. But over here, my camel cataphracts and my royal cataphracts are getting into his aspis cav, and they are going to lose quite badly. Now I'm going to try and pull through pull through his little blob over here and try and get to his Agrianian axemen, and that's only because axemen and peltas can be incredibly deadly to cavalry. As much as slingers are good against cavalry, you definitely don't want any sort of Thurea spear or peltist or Agrianian axemen in this case to start showering their javelins on your men. Now my gen is going to get through into the middle and just smash through these archers. You can see he's already got 70 kills. Meanwhile, his Indian war elephants, while they've got 160 kills, they were all on a unit of Eastern slingers and one unit of Eastern spearmen. Before I was not completely sure if elephants needed to be buffed, but I can say with complete confidence that elephants need to be buffed. Like, first of all, they run amok very, very quickly, and they also die very quickly, which is weird. Now, another thing that I forgot to give Hero credit for was he was able to distract my mercenary Sarmatian horse archers, who could have been a very, very potent force in this battle. And yeah, he's run two of them off to face of the battle, basically. I still have one, and they are getting into the rears of these Agrianian axemen. But my royal cataphracts, it's going to depend on them and how well they do. You can see that they've already lost 30 men, and that's because I pulled some of them through, and also because his axemen started to get a couple of shots, I believe. Actually, no, they haven't really done much damage. Now he's got a couple of freed up aspis cav, and they have a very good chance of just smashing through my troops here. So I'm going to bring a hoplite unit to support, and I haven't really microed this bit too well. So they are going to get a nice flank charge into my eastern cataphracts. As for the rest of the battle, these elite Persian archers got double chevron just because they killed that one elephant unit. I have one freed up camel frax over here, and they could be pretty deadly. There's a small little gap over here between his two pike lines. Oh no, I thought that this was a pike line. This is just a militia hoplite unit, but he does have one levy pike over here. Let's see what he's going to try and do with them. Actually, I can't really see obviously I can't see Piro's army build or how he's going to use his army from here. Now his levy pikes are getting closer, and I have to pull my gen out, and what I'm going to do is just get this guy to attack here, and then get my eastern cataphracts to attack here, and get my camel frax to attack from here. So just surround and destroy his Agrianian axemen. And while they aren't the most potent units in general, causing a big a concentrated charge from all three sides would lead to a very easy mass waiver. Now my gen is not doing too well. They're just facing pikes. And I think this is another example of how Piro played very aggressively with his pikes, and those were all very good moves, I would say. His aspis cav, on the other hand, have been caught by my mercenary hoplites, and they're not going to do too well in this case. I have rear charge. I think, did I rear charge? I rear charge somebody. I don't know. Here, his Hellenic Royal Guard, this is a big mistake. His Hellenic Royal Guard are still attacking with... wait, they're not... Aren't they pike troops? Very high... Yeah, they are pike troops. Yep. Unfortunately, he forgot to put his Hellenic Royal Guard into pike formation, so that's a deadly mistake by him. When you have a pike unit, especially a general pike unit, you need to keep them in pike formation. His Asker Scav are charging into one of my few remaining Persian light archers, but that's okay. I mean, as once they charge into them, my gen can charge right into their ears, which is good for me. That's good news. Now my noble blood cav, whom I didn't use till now, and his full strength is going to try and. I thought they were going to charge that ugly iron axeman. Let's see whom they charge. Oh, they're going to charge these levy pikes instead. So right into the flanks. Wow, bam! Those guys got destroyed. Um, Actually, yeah, it's not showing like they lost too many men. Meanwhile, these noble blood cav have already lost like 12 to 13, and that's what I'm talking about, the incredible potential of peltas and Thorea spears. They are just so strong against cavalry. Just a couple of javelins each, and you'd kill a horse easily. But well, and they are actually pretty good at melee attack. But these guys are another unit that needs to be buffed. Either they need a cost reduction. I wouldn't recommend a cost reduction because there are already so many skirmish units for that relative price. But 500 is too much for a unit that doesn't have as much ammo as a light peltist, and it has the same missile damage. So maybe you could keep these guys at a 40 missile damage instead. That could be a pretty interesting move. So here, my Royal Cataphracts gen, who's done very, very well. And I believe, I think I'll try and make a soldier's perspective video on these guys, so stay tuned for that. These guys have done very well, and they're going to charge right into these levy pikes. It took a couple of charges to kill these levy pikes off, which is a good thing to see because before they were just incredibly fragile. But now they're a bit more versatile, I would say. Anyways, guys, I think this is about the end of this. Yep, it's done. Very costly victory, and despite some incredible and very, very quick thinking by Piro in the early game, I somehow managed to get a victory. I think that a lot of that boils down to my hoplites being very strong, and the fact that my Royal Cataphract gen played very well. I was counting on my skirmishers to do a lot better than they did. Unfortunately, they didn't. And also another big weapon that I didn't use very well was my Sarmatian horse archers. Surprisingly, Eastern Spearmen got 66-35. Wow, they almost, actually no, they did get 100 kills. 100 kills for two units that cost a total of 360. That's cost effectiveness. Please nerf Eastern Spearmen CA. They need it. They need a big nerfing. Besides them, my other Royal Cataphract unit did quite okay. Didn't do great. My Camelfracts did not bad. But yeah, I think it was mainly just my hoplites being able to withstand that elephant charge, and the fact that I used one of my Cataphract units quite well. His elephants did well initially, but it's just another case of a big imbalance now, and I definitely believe that elephants need to be buffed. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this battle. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more. Peace.